Hi, folks. As I'm recording this towards the end of September, I guess kind of the middle part of September, I have just gotten done with my track work for the day, and I learned something in my track work. Learned is probably not really correct because this is something that I really already knew. I just didn't do a good job executing. So let's go into what happened in the track work, what I kind of learned or remembered, and what I think you would do well to try and remember when you're doing harder work or especially in races. So today I had a lot of track work. I had some work up front, some tempo work up front, and some fat 200 work at the end. But the meat of the run was 4 by 1200 meters with an 800-meter jog. And the goal was to start at 5 minutes for the 1200 meters and to chip that down to 450 by the end. So I did 5, 457, 454, whatever, and down. So for me, 5 would be a little bit slower than my 5K pace. And the 450 would be just a little bit faster than my 5K pace, and hence it's kind of a 5K workout, because that's what you want to do in a 5K is you start a little bit slower and you try and get a little bit faster. I was largely, I don't want to say that I wasn't worried about the workout at all, because I certainly was a little bit. I mean, to me, anytime I'm running faster than 5Ks on the track, it always feels like it's the most I can do, even though if you do a shorter distance in a race, you can do that. But it's always tough in that. But about maybe 3 weeks ago, I had some 1Ks. I was running about 4:05, and I remember thinking at the end of those, geez, if I just did another 200 meters, and even if I goosed a little bit, I'm probably going to be close to 450 on that. So the concept of going from 5, a little slower down to 450, didn't give me a lot of cause for concern. But here's what actually happened. I ran 458, okay, right about there. 457, like to be down a little bit more, but it's going down. But then 458 and then 459, it went the other way. So I didn't chip down, I kind of went down and then came back up. I put those check marks there because in every case, I ran pretty even splits. So I will check at 400 meters, 800 meters to make sure that I'm on pace. So a lot of times what I would see at that 459 is I might see that I was on pace for that 450 through 400 and then gradually got slower. That's usually an indication that I'm just getting tired and running out of steam. But that didn't happen. I was pretty much on that 459 pace the entire time. It just never got any faster than that. So I didn't get it chipped down. And so the question is, what did I learn? I think I know what happened. And so we're going to talk about soap. Because running fast and racing is like holding a bar of soap. Now, in this particular case, the soap is dry because it'd be pretty messy to do anything else with the soap while I'm doing the video. But picture yourself holding on to a bar of soap when you are running fast or when you're racing. And the trick, that balance is you want to have a good grip on the soap, because I'm not saying that you're not going to be trying to go hard and push and give it all that you've got. You certainly want to be doing those things. The balance is if you've got that wet bar of soap and you squeeze it too hard, the soap is just going to slip out of your fingers and you're going to lose it altogether. And I think that's what ended up happening to me, because I went into this knowing, Mark, you got to be careful, don't squeeze the soap. In fact, I vividly remember during those first 2 intervals, the 458 and 457, telling myself over and over again, make sure you're running smooth, strong, relaxed, run hard, but don't force it, because if you force it, you're squeezing the soap and the soap will slip out of your fingers. I don't have any memory for those second 2 of anything other than push, go, because they've got to be faster. So I've got to go hard. I've got to really push this, especially when I had that 458 and now I'm supposed to get to 450. I'm pushing it harder than ever, but the result was I actually ran a little bit slower. And I really think what happened is it's not that I couldn't have run the 450, but instead of making sure that I was running smooth and relaxed and strong and running hard, I was just thinking about push, go, squeezing the soap, and the soap slips out of my fingers. In fact, I will tell you that I believe one of the most common reasons, oh, got 2 pieces of paper there. One of the most common reasons for race performance that's less than you want is that we get out there and we want it so badly that we squeeze the soap too hard and that race slips away from us. And again, a broken record here, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be going after things and going hard. That's certainly not the intent, but it's learning how do you push, how do you go fast, but being smooth and relaxed. So some cues that you can look for is, one, that's one reason why when you watch the elites, it looks like they're not even working, because they're so good at knowing how to push to get maximum performance, yet being smooth and relaxed. I would suspect that if there was a video of me on the track, especially in those last 2 intervals, you'd have seen my shoulders, hands, and my face or jaw like this, my shoulders probably would have come up. When your shoulders are coming up instead of being down to relax, that's usually an indication that you're running too tense. So you want nice, relaxed shoulders. From a standpoint of your hands, and I'm usually good with my hands even when I'm not relaxed, but your hands should be like you're holding on to the baby bird, or think about holding onto your soap, but not squeezing it too hard. But when you start clenching, you're running too tight. You're not relaxed anymore. And when I talk about the face and the jaw, you know, you're kind of almost like gritting your teeth and you're pulling back. Your whole face is just taut because you're running tight. Again, go back to watching the elites at the end of the race, and they look like they're not even working. Their shoulders are down, their hands are loose, their face is relaxed. So that's that balance that you have to try and find. So, you know, just remember, keep a grip on your soap. You want to run fast, you want to be giving it your best, but don't squeeze the soap because it might slip right out of your fingers.